Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. And if you are new here, welcome. And if you're a subscriber and you come when I film, I absolutely appreciate you. I have made some really cool friendships and met some interesting people all over the world, which I am thrilled to know that it's not just in the United States. My teeny tiny channel actually has viewers. So if you're coming back to my channel, welcome back. Today I thought I would do a mid-month budget. My husband doesn't get paid until the 20th, which is next Friday, and today's the 15th, but I thought I'd go ahead and do a mid-month budget check-in because I'm doing a totally different system than what I was doing before. And I just kind of wanted to check you in. Before I get too far in, I want to show you I backtracked and did January and February budgets in here just so I can have them all in one notebook in one place, where before I had it in a Happy Planner budget extension pack, which was working for a long time, a very good while, several months, and I absolutely loved it, loved decorating it and everything. But now I'm happy to be back in an Erin Condren. This is a 8.5 by 11 monthly deluxe planner, and this is the cover I chose for this one, and I absolutely am in love with it. I love the flowers, the purple and the navy, and oh my goodness, I smile when I look at it. So, and it reminds me, love is what's important. So here we go. So I haven't put my name in it. I don't take it anywhere, so I don't really feel like putting my name in it. So here's my January spread, and I'll just get this under the view so you can see everything. So I backed it and put all my bills, and the layout I came out with and what I wanted to put in here is what days my bills are due, what days paydays are, like here and here and here. Usually there's 3 times in the month where pay comes in, but there's multiple checks that come in. And then I list what those checks are over here in my income on my notes section. I list what savings I have, and this is my typical emergency fund, and then travel expense for my husband savings, so when he does travel, he has a place to get money and we don't have to pull out of our checking account. And then the current debts at the time, school loans, this is the payment. I didn't start doing this until March, but I actually put the payment and debt in that section. And then our Visa, which had nothing at the time. Until February came, or actually March. I can't remember if it was February or March when they charged us, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So this is kind of how things were laid out. My son had no school this week. All these are stickers from Planner Kate, except for these no school stickers I got from Sarah Marie Stickers. She does have an Etsy shop, and I just love the script on those. The curls and stuff was so pretty. But if I don't have those, or if I have Planner Kate stickers, I use what she provides in the kits too. So I love that. And I did backtrack to see if these pages were big enough, because the 8.5 by 11 have more lines in it than the 7 by 9. And could I fit all my transactions? So I redid my transaction logs. And I actually printed these division stickers here with the date, amount, description, and budget amount. And I really like them. I think it turned out really good. Yes, everything fit. I could put a little, notation at the bottom. I'm happy with it. I think this is definitely going to work out, except for I may run out of room here in March, and I'll explain why in a minute. So, so there was that, and the reason these zero out is because January came and went, and I knew exactly how much I spent, so that's why I was able to do this. And then I decided, because gas, and I didn't title these like I do in the March one, but gas, there are only 7 to 10 transactions a month. And since that's the shortest log that I keep, I do my month in review notes at the bottom of it. Now, I didn't transfer my notes. I don't know if I will. I just wanted to see how it would work. And I did it again for February. And I could not resist using the February and January kits. They were so cute and so beautiful. I mean, I love the Sarah Marie ones I use, but these, I wanted these too. So this was an opportunity to use 2 different kits in 2 different planners for the same idea. And so I only got 2 kits. I use the monthly 8.5 by 11, and then there's a second monthly that gets you the, what's this called, sidebar, and it gets you all these little stickers here, whether it's a check off or just a box sticker. I use both for the same thing because it's just enough stickers without me having to buy more separate sheet of expense stickers. Excuse me, I can't talk. And it worked out really good. I love it. I don't necessarily track the amounts on here. I keep that in my every dollar. But it just reminds me, this is what's coming out today. This is what's coming out today. This is how many bills are coming between this payday and this day. So, and I can, like I said, I caught my income, savings, and debt. And I was just experimenting here, and I liked it. And I forgot to make check marks over here, but that's okay. But everything came out, obviously, and I was just backtracking. Here again, I wrote everything out. It fit on the pages on a normal month. And then this is where I would do my month in review. I do intend, and I have not done it, and I need to do it here. My scripture, I usually look for a financial scripture. I praise and then I pray, and I haven't done it. I'm in a weird place right now. I have been praying regularly in church and all that stuff and stuff, but I've kind of been, I've been down and sick, either with allergies or a cold. I'm not even sure what to call whatever it was I was going through, and just was not feeling well. So I haven't done this yet. I'll probably pray about it and see if I can come up with something, and I'll show that later. But here's my March kit. Let me move this to the side here, and it looks so good. Last time I showed this, I didn't have the washi strips or anything, or the sidebar. I just kind of filled it in. I know things are kind of crazy with the coronavirus going on, and that didn't help that I was sneezing and coughing. And so if I sneeze or cough, please excuse me, because I'm at the end of it. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm definitely, whatever it was I had, I'm getting over. I know there was a lot of things here in Virginia that were in bloom that I wasn't expecting. And, we had warm days and cold days and warm days and back and forth and just crazy weather. So it did not help any. But that's okay. So here is my March monthly layout for the bills that come out in March. This is today, and I'm excited because Sarah Marie has new releases tonight. I can't wait to see her video, see what she has to offer. I'm hoping that I like what I see and I can get a May kit for the monthly view. If not, I would pick something from Planner Kate, but I haven't bought anything for Planner Kate because I've been waiting on Sarah Marie's new releases. So anyway, there's that. So everything's coming out of schedule. Some new things here. Where did I put? I have a pen here somewhere. Okay, so some new things I have here going on. So I have military retirement, disability, VA education came through, rent, hit my husband's salary on this payday, and then he's going to have another salary check on this payday. And that will be on Friday. Today is the 15th, so it hasn't come in yet. We have not fully funded our emergency fund. Last month in February, or actually the beginning of March, I decided to deplete all of our sinking funds. So back here, I have decided to enlist at our sinking funds because I can't fit it in the monthly 5-page section. So sinking funds, this is going to be for April. And in April, I will start putting in sinking funds again. These are my notes. This bottom half is going to be notes or next month's sinking funds. I haven't decided yet if I'm just going to keep tracking them here or if I'm going to put notes at the bottom and then each page is going to be sinking funds. I don't know, because this is all I really have. So, and these are the amounts I plan to put in for the rest of the year, except for Orkin is $100 for 3 months and starting in March, and then May I just put $25 in. No, $125. So when June comes, it's only $25. And the reason I'm doing that, Orkin termite is $300 a year. If I do $25 a month for a year, next May when it comes due, I can pay the $300 with just taking little bits out of my out of the paychecks to build it up, and it be in the sinking fund. I pay it off, and there you go. So we want to build these back up. Right now they're all at zero. I had at least $2,800 saved in various parts of this, and now they're all zero because all that money went down here to our debt. And that was the $2,800. I transferred that from my sinking funds savings account, and I'll show you this right here. This just explains where our money is actually sitting. And you may have only a couple accounts or a joint account, and I have a joint account with my husband. My husband's name is Eric. So so Eric and I have been married 23 years, and he joined the Navy I guess 22 years ago. So but he's retired now. But we've been banking with Navy Federal Credit Union for the 20 some years, since 98, I think 1998. Yeah, because that's when we moved to our first duty station. So what we did is got a joint account with Navy Federal, and so we have a checking and savings. So what we decided to do when we started our debt payoff journey and how the accounts would work was I call it Eric's checking, even though it's a joint account for both of us, because I have my own personal checking and savings as well. And then he has a Visa prepaid Go card. My personal money goes into my checking. His personal money goes into this Go card because he travels internationally. And if he wanted to spend his personal money internationally, the safest way to do that without affecting our checking account is to use this prepaid Go card. And there's no fees attached, so it makes it easy. So what we use our regular checking account, our joint checking that I've labeled Eric checking. We pay bills, and what we use our debit card, which is our groceries and household, restaurant, miscellaneous, and gas. So every transaction you see, I use with a debit card. I do not operate in cash. I do not feel comfortable carrying a lot of cash. Not that I'm expecting anybody to rob me or anything. I just don't feel comfortable carrying cash. I don't know why. Debit card's so much easier, and it takes less time in checkout. And I've had instances where change was given back to me improperly. I'm like, good grief, people. So I get it. It's just easier, and I'm more comfortable. So I keep doing it that way, but I still budget, and I still keep the frame of mind of how much I have to spend in that budget for that week for this, for my transactions. So if it's something you can do that way, I recommend it. If cash works better because it just makes more sense in your brain, I go for it. I think that's awesome. If you're comfortable with it, I think you should definitely do it. So it just depends on who you are and what you like and how comfortable you are doing it. So here, Eric, our joint savings account, what works best for us is to put our emergency fund and then eventually our 3 to 6 month emergency expense fund. So savings. So this savings account, that's our joint, that's where we're going to start building that up. I do not have, you see it X here, I do not have the emergency fund built up. Does not mean I don't have emergency fund money, I just don't have it in my savings account. And I'll explain that in a minute. I do have a $225 deposit in our savings account for his travel expense. We like to keep $720 because he's never gone over $720 when he travels internationally and for his business trips. But we're going to have to build that up because we borrowed from that too for a family member. So, but as you can see here, buffer and checking, $1225.83. That buffer is here in this checking account. It's our joint checking account. We are used to and accustomed to keeping about $500 to $1,000 in the checking account at all times as a buffer that rolls over every month. It's our balance forward. And the reason we keep it there is because if we swipe the debit card, it won't overdraw. We forget it's there. It's as if it's spent and doesn't exist, but then if emergency arises, it's already in the checking account and I don't have to think twice about it. So we don't count it towards anything. We know it exists, but we don't spend it unless it is like a critical, serious emergency. If we had to go to the hospital and there's a copay, or if we had to go or pick up like if we went to urgent care or something like that, and there's some kind of pay that we have to have, unexpected expense. We blow a tire, we need to replace a tire on the highway on our way to vacation or something. Those kind of, I didn't see it coming moments, that's what the $1,000 to $500 is. So, debt, we have a Visa card. This month we've paid a lot of money on it because we charged over $8,500 and some dollars. I think it was actually 86. I don't even know if I put it in February. Let me take a peek. No, I didn't write the charges down. I meant to go back and do that. Anyways, it was $8,600. Let's just put it that way. We put a couple extra things on there besides the Orkin removal of the attic insulation and reinstallation after they found the rats. I know you don't have to do it that way, but we were too creeped out not to do it that way, so that's what we did. And then they plugged all the holes and set everything so where our house was like Fort Knox and rats can't get in. So I'm happy with that. We paid a lot of money for it, and so this was what was in this savings account, which is my personal savings. We have designated that as a sinking fund savings. So every paycheck or once a month, I transfer X amount of dollars that will be categorized here. So when April comes, and I think I'm doing it out of one check in the middle of April, and it's going to be whatever all these amounts add up to, which I think is $550 some dollars or $66 or something. Whatever it is, it adds up to, it's all going to go right here, and that's going to start all over again. And these are Sarah Marie stickers, by the way, if you're wondering where these came from. I got a grab bag from her, and I'm using them and seeing if I like them. And if I do, I'll probably get more. But I'm doing this in the notes section in the back of my Erin Condren deluxe monthly planner. So that's what I'm doing there. But so far I've paid, this was in our savings account. This was our $1,000 emergency fund, and then which I depleted. And this was $122.04, I guess, because we get interest added on top. That came from the travel expense deposit. And then here is the $2,800 that was in the original sinking funds and that are no longer there. It's depleted to zero. And then I made another payment. This is how much I paid. Not only did I transfer sinking funds, but I did not pay the $1,350 I normally pay on my school loans. And I did not pay sinking funds for March. So that combined, plus any rollover money that we had and so on and so forth, that paid it down, but we still had, and these are 3 separate payments that I made, we still have to pay this $1,114.86, and that would be paid off in April at some point. And I've already done my mock budget in April because of the coronavirus thing. I had to get things organized ahead of time to see where all the numbers fell and made sure that we were going to be able to take care of everything. And I believe we will. It should be fine. I did make a $100 payment to school loan. And the only reason it wasn't the full amount, which is almost $350, is because I have paid $1,350 for several months since October of last year. And then I made a more than double payment in January for $1,350. Over that, it was like $2,000 or $3,000. And so I really don't have a monthly balance to pay that I'm required minimum because I've paid ahead. So I just put something in there, $100. You're going to see next month that I'm going to bump that up to the minimum. And then I have a whole new plan for that, so I'll talk about that later. But this is the current amount I owe, $7,845.40. I was truly hoping to get it paid off this summer. With what happened and how much money I've had to pay here, more than likely I will not pay this off until December at the latest, I'm hoping. We might be able to pay it off sooner, but as long as it's paid off this year, I am absolutely thrilled with that. So, but like I said, I have my checking account, which is my personal money. You'll start seeing down the road, I'll start putting $100 to my checking, and then $100 to my husband's Go card. Because if he does not continue with his master's degree in his education, then he will not be getting any VA education deposits. This is grant money that he gets, and whatever the school doesn't use, he automatically gets. And it kind of goes, it's meant to really go for like books and supplies and towards your housing and all that stuff. He uses it. Once the deposit comes in, I don't count it as income for the family. I just, hey, this is what comes in. He's like, okay, let me know how much to transfer. If I need some, he has me leave some out. But if I don't need it and the budget's looking good, then he puts it on this prepaid Go card and, has fun with it. So sometimes he spends it on me, but most of the time it's just on himself. And that's okay. So anyways, that is my March budget. That is what we're doing this month. Let's look at my transaction logs, and I will show you where we're at. So my transaction logs are showing my groceries and household. You want to see everything's over budget but gasoline. And that has to do a lot with the coronavirus. That's what it has to do. So I have groceries and household budget. What I did this month, and I don't know if you can see this very well. Let me see if I can get it lifted up here. So what I've done this month is I took the number of days, which was 32 days because I included the 29th on this budget, and divided by $850. And it gave me X amount of dollars per day. And then I took that number times the number of days. So this would be 6, this would be 14, and this would be 12. And this is roughly rounding it up what the number would look like as far as how much I would spend during that time period. Now, this is the first time I've tried this to see if I could stay in budget like this. Not exactly, mainly because my kids are out of school for 2 weeks, as you saw on my calendar, and they've closed schools down to prevent the virus from spreading any further. And then I just use these budgets as they come up. So there's the 160. What was left over, I rolled over with the 372 and came up with this number. And then I spent. And then what had happened was here, I had bought some groceries, and that was supposed to last us. But then they said the schools were going to be closed for 2 weeks. I'm like, I didn't go in panic mode, but I did go into, protection mode, I guess you could say. I had plenty of toilet paper. I'm so glad I did, because there are no toilet paper on shelves anywhere. Not even on Amazon. I Googled that. I was like, Amazon, do you have toilet paper? And they're like, no, we're out of stock. I'm like, seriously? What's going on? Why do people need toilet paper? Because the one thing that the coronavirus doesn't do is cause abdominal distress for you to need toilet paper that badly. So if you need it that bad, you've got other problems that you should be seeing the doctor about. So I don't know. So anyways, so I did get groceries. Some of that was household, so it raised the price. I spent more. And some of this was, we have a once a week, or part of our church family, probably about, I think there's 14 of us total. At any given point, 10 to 14 people show up at my house, and we have a home group. And we talk about the previous Sunday's sermon and fellowship and talk and gather around and all that stuff. So a lot of times I'll buy some supplies like water and paper plates, and because they bring snacks, and we kind of eat a little bit and stuff like that. So I try to keep stocked up on things like that. And then I was like, I think I better stock up with some of the kids' favorite stuff that I know they'll eat and I know I can stock up on, and that would be something I won't have to worry about and won't have to leave the house for. So I was like, okay, honey, we're going to go over budget for the week, but let's just go ahead and get what we need now, and we probably won't spend as much after payday, but right now we'll have most of what we need. He's like, I don't care. Let's do it. I'm like, okay. And I went to Food Lion. Now, where I live, Food Lion is The prices are a little bit higher than what Walmart is, but some of their coupons are good enough that they kind of balance out. I tend to go to Walmart, but I knew Walmart was going to be a mess. I knew a lot of people were going to go to Walmart. I knew I'd already been on, I think the 13th, that morning at 9 in the morning after I dropped my son off at school. On Friday, I was at Walmart getting some supplies, and then I was like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of people here. And like only one register was open, but all the self-checkouts were open. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And I just didn't want to deal with the crowds. I didn't want to deal with anything. So people tend to go to Food Lion last around here, I guess. I don't know. But they are a little more, I'd say I'd spend $10, $15 more than what I normally would on a grocery haul for like a week or two at Food Lion than I would at Walmart. It's not a lot, and honestly, for the convenience of getting it in one place and it be less crowded, it was worth going to Food Lion. So I spent a lot of money at Food Lion. I've never spent that much before. And then this Food Lion didn't have a few items, so I had to go to another one to get what I needed. And so that was almost a $200 haul, which is fine. That'll last me. I probably won't have to go to the store for quite a while. And if I do, it's just for snacks and junk, probably. So I'm not too worried about that. I did order Tide refill on Amazon, and I normally don't put Amazon here except for this Tide, and that's because I order my detergent from Amazon. They come in these bags, and I could just refill the plastic that I originally bought at the store. And but if I didn't get the bags, I would have bought it at Walmart or Food Lion. So I just put it under the groceries because that's where I normally would have bought it, and it would have fell under anyway. And then there was somehow I forgot to list this on the 11th up here. It should have gone up here, but I missed it, and I caught it last night going over the numbers and making sure I had everything correct before I came on camera today, and I'm like, good grief, you missed it, girl. So right now we're $100.97 over, but I still have for the month $217.03 to get me into the 31st. I may go over budget on this a little bit, but I don't think I'll go too much. I don't know. I have to wait and see. I've bumped this up from $600 to $700 now to $850. So, hopefully I won't go any higher than the $850, but we'll see. Restaurants, we're all still within budget because he still got another payday and money that I have set aside for it. Even though we're over, this number drops this number, and this is where I get that number. Now, I have been sick, so you can see that the restaurants, I'm going to flip this over here. The restaurants here, I've been eating out more because I was too sick to cook, and a little sad face here. So, so we are over by $79.24 here. I do have this amount left in the budget for the rest of the month. Now that I'm feeling better and I bought all those groceries, we probably won't be going out as much or at all. So I'm okay with that. So we're going to leave that as it is. I love I can leave sticky notes and just kind of remind myself why things were happening. And then here, miscellaneous, I haven't really bought a lot. I am over, but I'm only over for these two pay periods. I still have enough, minus $25.81 here from the $169. That's what I have left for the rest of the month. So I don't plan on buying anything else miscellaneous. Today's the 15th, and the last thing was on the 11th. And to be honest, I forgot about this check. This is for my son's high school. He had to buy gym clothes, so uniform. And I'm like, they just now cashed it. Didn't I give this to you like a month ago to give to them? He's like, yep. And then normally I would not do this, but I've said earlier that the people internationally have been watching my channel, so I sent a blessing gift international with a giveaway, and so that cost a pretty penny, but it was worth it to me. And I looked at it as an offering. I do tithing and offerings. So my husband and I talked about it and went back and forth, and I'm like, I want to get this to this person, and he's like, well, we can look at this as an offering blessing gift to someone international that's watching your channel, and it's worth the money. And I believe God wants us to do this. And the interesting thing was, the night before I sent this, I didn't know where this person was in the world. But the night before, I pray for my missionaries in my church, and the country this person's in is the country I was praying for, and the missionaries for that country. And I'm like, wow, that's so God. I mean, that's just wonderful. So that's how we kind of really knew that this blessing was meant to go to this individual. And I pray they get it and everything works out great, because I don't ship international and want to make sure the address was correct. So that was a new one for me. And then we decided, if we're going to keep this channel, we're going to do a 6-month P.O. box. And I'll probably put the address up on my channel. So if you guys want to send in letters or questions or mail or anything, we have a P.O. box for that. Other than that, everything was normal. My husband needed he has a CPAP machine, and his masks from the company that he orders from he can't quite order just yet. I said, just buy some masks for his CPAP machine. And then I ordered some new pens. I got refills for these. And then I got, where is it? These gel pens I absolutely love. Frixon ball clicker. These are erasable, retractable, and refillable. And so it's all these colors. And I thought, wow, that looks great. So I love that. So those are the pens I bought. And that was miscellaneous and gas. So not much in gas. I'm getting ready to fill my tank up this week. So I'll put another one here. And my husband may have to fill up again. So, and then I think I'm going to find a washi strip to go right here that's the same color as this. And to divide that, and I'll make my notes at the end of the month. But this, I won't go over budget. I've never gone over budget on that. I know pretty much exactly how much we spend in gas. So that works out really good. So that's my mid-month review. We are over budget for what I budgeted for a time period, but not for the month. So if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, let me know, and I will try to make it clearer. This is what I have left for the month, because I haven't included this with this number yet, or this with this number. So there is still some cash coming. And because I keep that buffer kind of holds it together until payday comes. So, it gets replenished. So that turned out really good. So I'll give you a sneak peek in April. Obviously, I haven't done my scripture praise and prayer. Hopefully will be doing that as well. But here's my April layout. Look how pretty. Like I said, I went ahead and pre-did April because with the coronavirus and all the scares and people shopping and buying the way they are, which truthfully is unnecessary, honestly, you're either going to get really sick if your immune system is really low. So if you're a child or an elderly person, you've really got to be careful and protect yourself. If you're a relatively healthy person, you're going to get sick, but eventually you'll be fine. So that, I'm not worried about coronavirus. I'm not worried about my family. I'm not worried about anything, because it's in God's hands. He takes care of us, and I trust him to do that. I trust him to know what he's doing. I trust him to know he knew that this was coming, and not only knew this was coming, but was going to be there for us when it came. So I'm fine. I am not worried about anything. I'm not anxious over anything. I prepared as I would if I was worried about a hurricane, because we live near the coast. I prepared as if we were worried about tornadoes or flu season. You should be more worried about flu because it's killed more people in the United States than this coronavirus is. I prepared just like I would for any disaster, any disease, or anything that I need to be worried about. I prepared the same. You have your extra money. You have your home stocked appropriately just for your family. And you're not hoarding more than you should, because they're elderly and people that will be going to these grocery stores, and they're going to be out of toilet paper, and they're going to be like, this is like the Great Depression all over again. I'm going to have to clean myself differently like I did back then, because we didn't have anything back then. We didn't have toilet paper. We didn't rationed sugar and all that. So they're going to remember those survival techniques, but it's sad that we're hoarding things that are necessary for them to keep them healthy and clean. And that's heartbreaking. So I don't have more than what I need to get me through. And I pray others would think about that. And check in on your elderly. Check in on your grandparents and family members and neighbors and make sure they're okay. And if they need something, help them to find a way to get what they need. Make sure they're fed and have nutrition. My heart really breaks. And these kids out of school, if they rely on school lunches, if there's a neighborhood thing that you can do or a church thing you can do to help feed these people, that would be great. I know I just went on a tangent, so I'm sorry about that. But I am worried and concerned. I do pray for all these things. So what I do have here is April, first 2 weeks. We're supposed to have a spring break here. We plan to go out of town. I'm not sure if they're going to give us spring break, because in March we're already taking 2 whole weeks here of no school. And this is supposed to be a week of no school. I don't know how they're going to do the schedule. So I'm not sure if we're going to go out of town. I'm going to leave all this here. If it gets canceled, it gets canceled. That's fine. I went ahead and listed everything over here. I plan to make a $350 school loan payment this month. And there. I also had done a mock budget for what it would financially look like with the numbers. I'm going to move this aside. This here is a tool. I think it's so pretty. Tool. I don't think if you could see. I don't know if you can see this tool. This is a. Stop for a second. So this is a tool planner, TUL here with the hyphen on top. And what I had done is I went through and wrote out my school loans. And what I discovered was how much each loan was worth, or the debt to each loan, the percentage, and the monthly payment. I didn't know they had a monthly payment for each one. And I was just tooling around with it, just looking at it. I wrote the balance out, made some notes over here. And I'll come back to this, but April, I also have April. I write my mock budgets for this planner that I'm putting in. My mock budgets go in here. And this is just a bunch of notebook paper. And I've hidden away my husband's salary and tithing that we do. And then these are all our bills and the amounts we're paying on them. And what I discovered, because I have to pay off this Visa to get it back to a zero balance. And I have a lot of anxiety not having it at a zero balance. I mean, it's really driving me crazy. We've had that credit card for many, many years. And it is a $24,000 limit. We paid it off. We forgot to close it, which was kind of good. We could pay for this thing that we just did that cost over $8,000, and pay it down quickly. But I since I'm on this debt-free journey, I really agonize and get stressed of having debt. And we've already paid this off once, and I've got to get rid of it and make it go away. I don't want to carry that over again for very long, because that just it brings a lot of weight on my shoulders. I don't like it. There's the school loan. As soon as that's paid off, it's never coming back. So I'm happy about that. So what we discovered after doing the mock budget, we only have $48.03 left over, not including the rollover, that cushion I like to keep from month to month going over. We'll probably have that $1,000 sitting in there, but that's not a lot of money here. That's cutting it close, which is why we like to have the $1,000 cushion sitting in there when we cut it this close. But that means in April, if we do have spring break, I don't have any money to spend it with unless I use a credit card, and I do not want to use a credit card. And all we were going to do was drive back to where my husband's from and visit some family and come home for 4 days. That's all we were going to do. It wasn't a big trip. It wasn't anything major. So I made a note to myself. It said, this pays off the credit card, but no vacation money. Not sure if school will have a spring break to go home, and not sure if Eric will be traveling. That spring break week is also a week he may have to travel on business, a school or something. I have no idea. I don't keep up with the details. I just know he has dates set aside. So he may or may not be traveling. He may be, we're just not sure what's going on. And without the visa payment in May, $1,000 can go back into the emergency fund. So what that meant was, because I'm paying $1,114.86 here, if these bills stay exactly the same and you go to May or relatively close to this, that $1,000 actually won't be a payment to anything. Visa would be paid off and it'd be zero. I have nothing to pay. So I could take that $1,000 and put it into our emergency fund in May. And then in June, that $1,000 will be available, and I can start putting that to this $1,350. That's where that $1,000 usually comes from. So, and then I can put $1,350 to student loans until the end of the year, get them paid off, and make them go away. So that's what I'm trying to do. I am excited about the school loan. I did come up with a strategy once I saw how many loans there were individually and their balances. I am decided now, this is just a mock of how I practice it, and I know the amounts are going to be different by the time I get to it in June. But my goal is whatever loans we have and whatever their balances and minimum payments are, I'm going to take that $1,350 amount and I'm going to subtract as many loans off and pay them off as possible, and then do a partial payment. And that's what this shows. If I could do it in the month of March, I would have loan 1 paid off, I would have loan 2 paid off, and loan 3 paid off. If you total that up, that's still under the $1,350. And then I would do a partial to this. And then, so see, that's more than the 21 minimum. So I do a partial to this. So this would, loan 4 would carry over. And then I would do minimums for the rest until all of that equaled $1,350. And then the next month I would do the same thing. These loans, there'll be a whole new loan scale. Be instead of 1 through 11, it'd be 1 through, see, 1, 2, 3. So it'd be 1 through 8, and I would just use that $1,350 again and figure out, okay, how much I can pay off and how much are the minimums, and I'll keep doing that until it's all paid off. So that's my new strategy. Before, I was just sending a $1,350 payment and then letting the loan company decide what loan it went to. I don't even know how they do that or how they figure it up, but now that I see they have minimum payments, I can see why I don't have a balance right now, because I've paid so much towards the minimum payment. There is no balance due, but I still have the loan, and this is what I want to get rid of before the end of the year. And I know I could do that. And then after that, my other goal is to start saving for the 3 to 6 months for the next 2 years at $1,500 a month. So that's what that's about. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it was a lot of talking. I know it was a lot of information. And that I really just love this margin. The last view of the margin is so pretty. I love the colors. I love how it turned out, and just made me so happy. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing these little stickers. I keep forgetting to print them. Obviously, I didn't do them in April. I just wrote it out because I was too lazy to print them. But I absolutely love this planner. I've gotten used to the size now. It's bigger than the 7x9, obviously much bigger, but I've gotten used to the size. I truly enjoy it. I can refer back to it. Everything is in here that I want. I'm just thrilled with it. Everything's fitting on the page. I may have some months where I go over, like I am right now, of lines, and that's fine. I'll use a sticky note or something I can tape into here and continue the list. So, I can do that. That's not a problem. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to cough. So anyways, I'm thrilled. I cannot wait to see what it looks like at the end of the month and going into April. And I can't wait to see what Sarah Marie has for her stickers tonight and everything. So everything's looking good. I hope everybody is doing well in their budget, and I hope everybody is not panicking, and just know God is good. He loves you. He loves you so much. He loves you as much as he loves his own son, Jesus. So that's saying a lot. So trust him and allow him to be a part of your life and guide you in times of fear. Don't let fear rule. Let God rule, and everything will be okay. I have no worries about what's going on, and I don't want anybody else to worry either. So, we love you, and I pray everything's going well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, please subscribe. And I hope everyone has an amazing and blessed day. Thank you so much.